What's your plan?
It's my plan, and I decide what goes down. You got that?
Yeah.
Come on, Leo!
My name is Joseph Fares, and I'm the writer-director of A Way Out. A Way Out is a story-driven co-op game. It is designed, played, and experienced only in split-screen co-op, which means you have to play the game with a friend, either online or on your couch. The game starts in a prison. You play as Vincent and Leo. You and a friend will get to know your characters and unfold their story together.
You don't know anything about me, man.
Maybe not. But Harvey killed someone very close to me. With or without you, I'm going after him.
Let me show you some of the scenarios in the game. On the right side, you see Leo was already in prison. On the left, you see Vincent, who just arrived. Now if you look to the right again, you can see that Leo can be controlled while Vincent is in a cutscene. Here is another one. Vincent and Leo are now in the laundry room. Your goal is to smuggle sheets using a laundry cart. You can approach the scenario in different ways. Either get the cart with Vincent.
You know, I got a good pack right here. I think it's got your name on it. It's, broken. I don't know.
Or with Leo.
Get over here, you idiot!
Yeah, but I think those two guys are just about to fight.
What the?
What? Who's him?
In A Way Out, you will experience something new all the time. Everything you do in the game is unique for that scene. We want you and your friend to be focused and engaged throughout the entire story. But let me tell you, this is just the beginning of what you will be experiencing in A Way Out.
Give me the gun! Get him! Run, run, run!
Relax, man, I got this.
We are here at EA Play at E3 2017, and Andy
Yes.
has just seen A Way Out, which
Yes.
is the new game from Joseph Fares, the guy behind Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
You don't know anything about me, man.
Maybe not. But Harvey killed someone very close to me. With or without you, I'm going after him.
The first thing that I'm excited about in this game is the level of choice it seems to offer you. I got to play a brief section of the game. It was one of the, he said it was about 3 or 4 hours into the game, and the guys, they need money and they're trying to rob a gas station. The way you go about it is kind of up to you. There's a few different ways you can do it. So you start out in the car and you're having a conversation about who should take the gun. And obviously the guys, you probably got from the trailer that there's slightly different personalities, these guys. One of them is a bit more level-headed and the other is a bit of a hothead.
See? Problem solved.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we need to go in there and we need to like shoot everyone and take the money. And the other guy's like, no, we should go in and take our time. And so you decide who starts out with a gun. That's the first choice you make. And then as you go in, there were more people around. There was people filling up their cars with gas. And if you wanted to, you could just leave them, or you could go up to them. You could talk to them. You say, it's for your own good. You should probably get out of here before things kick off. Then you go in. There's more people inside. You can talk to those people. You can leave them alone. You can intimidate them into leaving. If you want, you can walk straight up to the counter, or you can like scout around a bit. There was a telephone in there, and you could sabotage the telephone so that people weren't able to call the cops. So it's kind of up to you and how much preparation you want to do. And then once you start the actual robbery, then you have to sort of adapt to things as they go on.
It seems fitting that the guy behind Brothers would have a little more to the story than just an action game where you rob a gas station.
He was very keen to point out that there are a lot of different options for the way you can do things, and he was like making us play it again and try different things. He was like, I just wanted to know you can do this as well. It's important that you know that you can do that. And so it looks like there's going to be a lot of different ways that you're going to be able to play this. It's not going to just take you down one path, which obviously I'm really looking forward to. that point about choices takes me to the second point, which is the consequences following on from those choices. As I say, the developer is very keen to stress that there's going to be a lot of variation in how you play, and that was borne out in this gas station robbery. We played through it a couple of times, and the second time we didn't sabotage the phone, and we weren't sort of keeping an eye on the people in the store. One guy, he used the phone in the store to call the cops, so we tried another time. We didn't. We sabotaged the phone, but in that instance, he ran out the front door, he ran down the street, and there were cops down there, and so that instantly added a sort of a time pressure to, because the cops are on their way, which meant we had to wrap things up a lot quicker than we would have done if we'd sort of got everyone out of there and had sabotaged the phone. Yeah, some of these things are quite time sensitive as well, like going in the back office of the gas station trying to find the safe. A guy came out and he grabbed the co-op partner. So he was out of it. He had no controls. He was just being held by this other character. You had to get around there and save him, and you had a certain amount of time to do it before you get into a game over situation where he'd be taken out by the other gas station owner. So yeah, it gives you these different scenarios depending on what you do, but they can make it easier or harder depending on the way you play it.
It almost feels like a co-op version of those Telltale games where you have these constant choices, and they're quite nuanced choices. But being able to share that with another person might be quite cool.
I think that's probably a fairly good comparison is the Telltale games, because you have that bar in the Telltale games when you've got to respond, and there are a few scenarios where it feels like that. You have to make a quick decision, and then you've got to live with the consequences of it. The next thing that's quite exciting is the setting. So it's set in the early 1970s, which you can probably guess by that one guy's amazing sideburns.
Yeah, those sideburns are legendary.
Yeah, but it's, they led with the prison stuff in the trailer, but it seems like the prison is just a sort of early part of the game, and then there's going to be a lot more further on in the game, like there was the bit in the trailer where they're escaping through the forest, and then there's this gas station bit. So it seems like it's split into chapters. So there'll be several chapters in the prison, then you get out and you have sort of a goal in each chapter to achieve, and then you move on to another part of the game and you get sort of story as you go along. But I think if you play Brothers, you know that story and emotional resonance and heart is very important to this studio, and I think that's all going to be borne out in this as well. It's going to be really take you into these characters and their journey as they escape prison, and then they've both got their own goals that they're trying to achieve. So it's going to be quite varied, like a lot of different environments, and I think initially we were like, oh, it's a prison break game, but I think that's only like an early part of it.
Yeah, I feel like it might be a bit like Brothers, a reasonably short experience, but given that it's a co-op game and you'd have to organise to play it with another person, you can't play it single player. That might not be a bad thing, because you'll be actually making time to play it, and a shorter story might mean you'll be able to go through it and then maybe replay it with a friend and make different choices and things like that.
Yeah, plus being the 1970s, it's got some amazing fashion, obviously.
Awesome.
Everyone's in bizarre, loud shirts, and the kind of cars that you're into as well.
Of course, yeah, 70s muscle cars.
American muscle cars, yeah. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the presentation of the game. Obviously, you saw the split screen being sort of 50-50 down the middle, but it's not always like that. In the bit that we saw, there was a bit where one of the gas station attendants started to reach for a gun, and it went into a 3-part split screen. There was a line across the top where you could see what's happening. They also said that the size of the split screen changes depending on if you want to focus on one rather than the other. You get like a 65-35 split. I think because the developer Joseph Fares, he has a filmmaker's background. He's got that kind of cinematic eye, so it's about creating something that looks like a movie, but that you can play like a video game.
Yeah. It's also almost a sort of 70s trope. You kind of imagine the intro to a 70s cop show with all these kind of splits in the screen and things like that. So it feels like it's fitting with the theme as well.
And the fact that one character can be in a cutscene and the other is still walking around means that you can go and run around in the background of other people's cutscenes.
I love it when you can do that.
Which, it's something you could do in, I think we did it in Dying Light a lot,
and
or
Dead
Island.
The original Two Worlds as well, when you played that co-op.
Yeah.
You could be having a chat with some peasant, and there'd be your mate running around fighting a bear behind you or something.
But yeah, there was a very tense gas station robbery cutscene between one of the guys and the gas station attendant, and I was just doing like little cartwheels in the background, which, was great, and I'm really glad they give you the option to do that.
Hold your hands up high.
And finally is the fact that it's entirely co-op. It's built for couch co-op. You can play it online if you want, but I think they're really keen to have you in the same room as the person you're playing with.
Yeah.
And that's great because I love co-op games, and there aren't enough pure co-op games out there at the moment. I'm really looking forward to being able to play a game fully in co-op.
Yeah, co-op often feels like a bit of a compromise. Like either you're only playing a limited version of what's going on, or it kind of ruins the sort of story immersion, as it were.
Yeah.
But this feels like being built specifically for co-op is a kind of brave thing, and the kind of thing that only a sort of indie game could do. This is not a AAA title. It looks great. It looks really good. But it's not a kind of AAA big budget EA title. This is an EA original, a bit like Unravel was last time. And yeah, so really nice to see them experimenting there. Whether it'll be a success, you will need a friend to play this with.
Yeah.
And that could live or die on that.
I also like the suggestion in the conference that the two characters have different aims and that they might possibly come up against each other at some point in the story, which is something that I remember they promised that in Call of Juarez the Cartel. They were like, you guys have all got different aims and you're going to clash. And it never really delivered, but I always thought that was a really cool idea.
Might be tough to deploy in split screen where you can literally see, but it'd be really fun to see objectives that are counter to each other, and that's one of the choices, who wins out from this kind of battle of wills between the two co-op players.
Hopefully it's something that they do tackle in the game, because I think that would be super interesting. That was A Way Out here at EA Play at E3 2017. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and we will see you next time on Outside Xbox.